Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we are here discussing my never-ending backlog of video games. Now this is so self-inflicted, it's not even funny. Even my girlfriend's like, you're gonna have to start slowing down. But I've been just getting so many great deals lately that I was like, I just gotta get this one, right? And I think that today is going to be the day that I start to hold myself accountable just a little bit, and we're going to discuss kind of the top priorities and what needs to get played. If you guys are new to the channel, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and let's hop right on into it. So piggybacking off our Star Wars Day video that we released, I want to talk about some Star Wars games that I missed that I kind of brought up in that video. And so first and foremost, we're going to be talking about KOTOR 2. Now, I played Knights of the Old Republic 1 a very long time ago as a kid, and I absolutely adored it. It's been a while since I have played it since, and I think that it means we're going to need another replay before we do get to KOTOR 2. So throw KOTOR 1 on top of this as well. I've heard mixed reviews about KOTOR 2, but I've also heard that with the restored content mod on PC, it's just absolutely incredible. I don't have the PC version. I mean, obviously I can get it. I'll play it at some point, but we're going to play it like I was as a kid, and we're just going to go for it. I'm hoping for more of the same with some slight improvements. I really know nothing about the story of KOTOR 2. I know this is like Darth Nihilus, I think that's who's on the cover here, but I really do not know much about this game at all. So I love being able to go into a game almost completely blind. And following up on that, on some classics, we're going to throw in, and we have it here, and I think that this is the best way to have it, is the Star Wars Heritage Pack. And here we can see the Jedi Knight games up top, Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and these two down here, Star Wars Racer, which I think was actually games with gold on Xbox. I've played a little bit, so I mean, I kind of played that a little bit, and then same thing for Republic Commando. Now, I think that's the big miss on my Star Wars list that I have actually not played before is Republic Commando. When I say I haven't played it before, I haven't played a lot of it. I remember my friend had it on his Xbox, and I would play it at his house every so often, but I was in that Battlefront stage where we just gotta play the multiplayer games. And I know that playing local, I think that there was like online, maybe. I think you know what? Ignore me. I know nothing about Republic Commando. Again, this is a big miss that I really am excited to play. And the Jedi Knight games, I've heard great things as well. Making your own character, I believe it takes place after episode 6. You get to make your own Jedi, probably very similar in the ways of KOTOR. I'm sure it's a very different combat style, being different publishers. But again, those are two games that I really don't know much about. Learn the ways of the Force from Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to learn from the Master. So I really am looking forward to those. If those aren't super long, maybe I'll bang those out and talk about those in a video. Same thing for Republic Commando. But yeah, I think that those are definitely at the top, as I do love my Star Wars games, and I do kind of have that itch right now with The Mandalorian and Grogu coming out soon. So up next, we are going to be talking about some anime games, as it is anime. And by some, I just mean two very big ones that I am going to get annihilated for, considering I was making Dragon Ball Z content for a little bit. That being Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and Dragon Ball FighterZ. So both of these games, this baby right here is literally the spiritual successor. Tenkaichi's back. We all know it. I actually kind of started playing this recently. This is kind of like, I've been playing on and off a little bit. I played for a few hours the other night and I absolutely adored it. But I think Dragon Ball FighterZ is the big one. So many people say that this is the greatest Dragon Ball Z game of all time. And if that's the case, I really need to do it. I think I actually remember this being another situation where it was a games with gold game, and I was actually playing it with one of my buddies, and we played a little versus, but maybe an hour. I really don't consider that fully playing the game, in my opinion. I know that the story mode is, look, it's a 3v3 fighting game. Nobody's playing fighting games for the stories. I know that, but an original Dragon Ball story is always going to be fun in my book. It's one I'm definitely looking forward to, and if I do love it, for both of these, we'll definitely go for, we'll get 1,000 gamer score on, or platinum trophy if I had a PlayStation, but I don't, so there you go. Ignore the PS4 games behind me on my shelf. Moving on, we have a couple of fun ones that are probably short and sweet that I just need to sink my teeth into. That being Sonic Frontiers and Sonic Superstars. If you haven't noticed, I have a good amount of sealed Switch games because I got a lot for Christmas recently that I just need to play. I never played a whole bunch of the Sonic games growing up. I actually recently played Sonic Unleashed last summer for the first time. I had a pretty fun time with that. I wasn't a huge fan of the 3D. I know that, I mean, I've heard like Sonic 06 is a legendary game, not for the right reasons, not for the reasons it wants to be legendary. But the Sonic 3D games have never really been my cup of tea. And by the looks of things, Sonic Superstars is more of like that 2D style, but I've heard so many great things about Sonic Frontiers. Like, it's a great, like, 7 out of 10 game. Like, and sometimes that's just what you need. I don't need this amazing 10 out of 10 experience that blows my mind away every single time, because then I'm just going to be spoiled whenever I play anything. But I've heard great things about both of these games. Again, I think that we'll get more of a feel of that OG Sonic with Sonic Superstars, and kind of what we're moving towards with Sonic Frontiers. I think that both of these are probably a good, short but sweet games. Again, I don't really know too much about either of them. You know, Sonic Unleashed was a good time, but yeah, really looking forward to playing these as well. Sticking with Nintendo, I think that we're going to move on to some very big names. So what you guys will be proud of me for, and I mentioned it in my Final Fantasy VII video, is that I have been playing the Ocarina of Time on my 3DS. As such, there's one that comes after the Ocarina of Time, that being Majora's Mask that I have here on the 3DS. Now that's, again, a game I don't know too much about. I've been having a pretty good time with the Ocarina of Time so far. I recently beat the Forest Temple. I think that it's definitely a dated game, but I think they actually did a really good job on the 3DS. I think that the graphics are incredible. The gameplay is fairly smooth for the most part. I see where it has that late 90s flaws, but again, that's what it was at the time. And I'm not docking it for that. I'm just talking about my experience as a whole. So, by the sounds of things, we're kind of getting more of the same in a sense, but instead we're getting these masks. Again, a game I don't know too much about. I've heard rumblings of a lot of the different stories in The Legend of Zelda. Zelda is actually just a series I've kind of recently gotten into. I always thought Link was cool on Smash, but I never really played any of the Zelda games. I played Breath of the Wild, had a blast with that. Playing Ocarina of Time right now, like I said, and I really am having a good time. And, you know, I think that Majora's Mask is one that I really can't wait to sink my teeth into, because I've heard a lot of people also say that they find it to be even better than Ocarina of Time. What I need to do for myself is definitely go back to the 2D Zelda games and play some of those that are on the Nintendo Switch Online. So you know what? Throw those on the list as well. Speaking of Breath of the Wild, we have the sequel, Tears of the Kingdom. So this was, as you can see, another sealed Switch game, right? So this was another gift that I actually got, and it's one that I've been waiting to play. I heard that it runs a lot better on the Switch too, and if you know anything about me, I am holding out for some special Pokemon edition, maybe a Zelda edition, something cool, some fun Switch 2, like they did with the Switch. So that's the only reason why I don't have a Switch 2 yet. I heard it runs a lot better on there. Like I said, I had an absolute blast with Breath of the Wild. I thought it was fantastic. I think that anything similar to that will be a very fun time. I loved traveling Hyrule. A lot of those characters didn't hit at the time because I'm just like, I don't know, like I knew nothing. And what I'm kind of learning is that there are a lot of different timelines. This takes place during different time periods. Like, you're going to see a lot of these similar characters and races. So I'm seeing that now with Ocarina of Time. But yeah, with Tears of the Kingdom, you know, it seems like that you can get very creative with things. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. I've always loved Lego games, you know, like anything that you can use your imagination. I mean, I understand Lego games are pretty much just puzzle games for kids, but again, I like to use my imagination. Hence, Luke's land speeder that I have on top of my shelf there, and the row of Lego Star Wars sets that I have in front of me. But before moving on, we have another Zelda game that a lot of people do consider to be one of the best, that being Twilight Princess. I actually recently picked this up for like 10 bucks. Apparently that's a steal, especially considering we got the full game. Like, we got game, manual, we got it all. I heard that this is actually quite a bit better on GameCube, so I'm really interested to see. I think that, yeah, you have to use the Wii remote on here, but either way, I think that I am going to have a very good time with it. I like the aesthetic. I actually remember playing this very briefly as a kid. I was stupid. I liked Pokemon, and that's like all the games that I played. I liked my anime things. So venturing out, I was never really open-minded at the time, so now that's something I'm really trying to do. I really like the aesthetic of Twilight Princess. Again, it's another 3D Zelda game. It seems like those are the ones I have lined up, and I definitely need to go back to the 2Ds, but I've heard that this is kind of the cream of the crop, and that's really what I've been playing recently, are the cream of the crop Zelda games. I know A Link to the Past is widely considered one of the best. The Minish Cap is a very underrated one, I've heard, for the Game Boy, which I would love, because I've seen that art style. I think that really speaks to me. I think that Triforce Heroes is one that I heard not great things. I actually have that on my shelf. It's weird with those co-op Zelda games, because I played Four Swords recently with my buddy on the GameCube, and we've been playing through that, and honestly, that's just been so much fun. Again, I think it's that art style that really gets me. But I think that the more mature tone of Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, like these newer games, I think that they're beautiful games, and I really am interested to see kind of what this story holds, and then just see if I want to continue to sink my teeth further into this series. Up next, we have probably some of our biggest Brad, what are you doing? And first up, we are going to have Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year Edition. So this also includes Undead Nightmare. So this is the very first Red Dead Redemption. This is not the second one. I know the second one is widely loved, but you got to start with the originals, right? So yeah, I got this for 20 bucks. Honestly, I thought it was a really good deal for what's considered to be an amazing game. Plus, you get the Undead Nightmare. I attempted to play this. This is another one I attempted to play as a kid. When I say kid, I mean like middle school, whatever. And one of my friends absolutely loved it. I just couldn't get behind it at the time. It was really slow for me. Again, I was kind of in that era of I'm playing what I want and what I know and what I like, so being open-minded was really tough. I only ever heard such great things about this. I do have like the ending spoiled for me, but with Final Fantasy VII, I had a certain thing, I'm not going to say what, spoiled for me as well, and it still hit very, very hard in the feels. So I think that playing Red Dead would be really fun. Maybe I do want to play that Western, be that old cowboy, and just kind of take my time with things. I think that so many games today are just so fast-paced, in your face, brain rot, that having something much slower and much more enjoyable, I think that'll be a much greater change of pace, and I think that Red Dead is definitely the game for me to do that. Moving on, we have what a lot of people consider to be one of the greatest first-person shooter series of all time, that being BioShock. So I have the BioShock collection, which has BioShock Remaster, BioShock 2, and BioShock Infinite, with all their DLCs. I recently played BioShock, and that game was incredible. That was so much fun. I love the atmosphere. I love the story. I heard from my friend that I should have just played the original version of the game, and I see why, because that game crashed on me so many times. It deleted my save file at one point, and it almost made me drop the game, and that's not on what the original game was supposed to be. So I try not to think of that when I think of my experience, but it did leave a sour taste in my mouth, so I've not rushed into BioShock 2 yet. I've also heard mixed reviews on BioShock 2, but a lot of my friends growing up, they did play BioShock Infinite, and they absolutely adored it. They didn't even play the other two, they just played that, and they're like, Brad, like, you would love this game. And I think it's finally time that I kind of get back to it. I loved BioShock 1, it wasn't super long, and that's something I really love right now. I love my bigger stories, I love my RPGs, I love my JRPGs, but sometimes with life, you get older, you don't have as much time to do things anymore. And I think that that's why I love BioShock 1. Sat down a few times, made it through, had a blast. It's definitely a game that I could go back and get the want to say platinum because I've been watching so many platinum trophies for, or platinum trophy videos for, but it is not what we're getting on Xbox. Get my 1,000 gamer score because achievements are so much cooler, but just being able to say platinum so much better. Side tangent. Anyways, yeah, really looking forward to jumping into these. My friend said that when I'm ready to play Bioshock 2, he'll play alongside me and we'll just kind of share that experience together. So I think that's another one that's going to be happening soon. All right, switching gears back to Nintendo, we have a game that was recently somewhat remastered for the Nintendo Switch, that being Metroid Prime. Yeah, I have the original GameCube copy. I've held it for a very long time. Again, a cool Nintendo character I thought was cool in Smash Bros. That I just never played any of the games. I have not played a single Metroid game. And I have heard nothing but great things about Metroid Prime. Common theme with all these games, right? But yeah, Samus is this badass bounty hunter. Sounds like you get to travel these planets. Honestly, it's gonna be a first-person shooter, and those are the games that I grew to really enjoy as I got older. I've heard that this is, once again, not a super long game, which I can appreciate at these times. So I'm really looking forward to firing up the GameCube. I think that this was one, again, I attempted to play as a kid. I held on to it for a reason, clearly. I don't know what that reason was, but, you know, I held on to it. I wasn't into it at the time, but we just got to jump right into it. And as you guys can tell, I really just need to jump into a lot of these. I just need to pull the trigger and do that, and that's just something I've really struggled with doing. So I think you guys need to help me decide what I play next. But we're not done yet. We have 2 more series of games left, and I think that this one is going to be the biggest chunk that we have because I have missed so many of these. That being... Oh, here we go. Let's see if I can get all of them. The Assassin's Creed series. So we have Assassin's Creed 1. I just have 2 here. Assassin's Creed 2 is amazing. I've already played it, don't worry. We have Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, and Mirage. I've played Unity, I've played 2, I've played Black Flag, and I've played some of Syndicate, and that's it. So I literally got all of these at a very good price. And I just got to jump in and play them. I want to play AC1 before I carry on. I either want to do AC1 or AC3 first. AC1, AC3, or AC Brotherhood. I will play AC1 before I play Revelations because I know that that's Altair's story in there as well. But I absolutely loved Assassin's Creed 2. I've absolutely loved this journey that you get to go on as an assassin fighting the Templars. Black Flag was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had playing a video game, so I'm really excited for Resynced to come out. Maybe we'll play through 4 again before... No, we're not going to do that. I have not touched that game since I was probably like, oh god, 18, 19. It's probably been 8 to 10 years since I last played Assassin's Creed 4. So we're going to hold off, but we're going to definitely play some Resynced when that eventually comes out. But yes, Assassin's Creed, a series that is just so much fun. I know with Ezio's story, we have AC2, Brotherhood, Revelations. I know we get into Connor Kenway in AC3, which takes place during the Revolutionary War, which is New England, my neck of the woods. Assassin's Creed is where it all started. So we have these great games. Mirage is another one that I heard fairly decent things about. I know the newer style Assassin's Creeds have gotten a bad rap. So, I think that we'll hold off on Mirage for a bit, but we definitely got to sink into the originals before Resynced comes out. I think that if we at least just start Assassin's Creed 1 and finish that, I'm sure that it's going to be a bit of a slog. It was their first shot at it. It's going to kind of feel like going back in time, but I think that it'll be so much fun. I love the stealth mechanics. I love the free running. I think that the story is usually very fun. Missions are always a blast. I think that it's just one of those games that you can really immerse yourself into and just feel those time periods and just have such a great time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, rounding out today's video, we have what we are probably going to dedicate a very long amount of time to, that being the Dark Souls trilogy. We have Dark Souls Remaster, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3. I actually got these all for a buy two, get one free deal at GameStop. So shout out to GameStop. I mean, you're able to get the whole Dark Souls trilogy for like 20 bucks, all their DLCs. So I first played Dark Souls in September 2014. It was a Games with Gold game on the 360. And I remember my buddy Robbie and I were like, hey, you know what? Screw it. Let's just hop into it. We've heard like this game's supposed to be super difficult. I knew nothing about Dark Souls. We made our characters. I think I beat the Asylum Demon. He couldn't get past it. And I think that's as far as I ever got. So to right those sins of not actually playing through that game and giving it a chance, I want to go back. I want to get my old character, find that old file, see what I was thinking of doing at the time. You know, I might have beaten more bosses. I really don't remember. I think I got to the gargoyles maybe, but I did not get very far at all. So when I do my Dark Souls remastered run, which we're definitely going to be doing on stream at some point, twitch.tv/crazybrad, by the way, we are definitely going to right those wrongs. Now, I know little to nothing about those games. I have played Elden Ring, which I did on stream, and I did get every achievement for that. And I also don't have a PlayStation, so I can't get platinum trophies, but I do have a PlayStation 4 because I wanted to play some exclusives at the time, and I just wanted PlayStation at the time. I'm good now. I have had my fill because actually during the holidays, I bought Bloodborne and I fell in love. I absolutely love Elden Ring, but I am in love with Bloodborne. That game was so much fun. I know it's a lot of people's favorites in the community, so I'm so excited to see kind of where it all started with Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3. You know, I'm pretty sure Dark Souls 3 did come out after Bloodborne, so correct me if I'm wrong on that. Yeah, I love Bloodborne so much that I did get the Platinum Trophy. I haven't done the DLC. I will at some point. I really don't. The PS4 is taking up space. This is how we're going to get rid of my backlog, is we're going to sell stuff. We're going to get rid of stuff when we just don't want it anymore, PS4 being one of them. So we're going to get our platinum in that at some point. Maybe that's something that we'll do on stream. But yeah, the Dark Souls trilogy, man, I am very excited. I've been getting the itch so badly for, but I've been working on a bigger video and other streams right now that I've not wanted to dive into those yet because I know that it's going to be hard to pull me out. Elden Ring was this massive open world that was kind of overwhelming at first, I won't lie, but again, I absolutely loved my time with it. I enjoyed my class that I ended up going for. I think I got the Bloodhound's Fang. At the time, I had no idea that it was busted. Like, I got this game fairly early on, like in its life cycle. I didn't know that this thing was busted, and I just pretty much used it my entire playthrough. I loved the class. I loved the build that I made. Had a great time with it. So I just know that probably having a more contained game, kind of what I've been really itching for and yearning for these days. I think that the Dark Souls trilogy is really going to help out with that. I'm excited to face some difficult bosses. I'm excited to challenge myself again in a new series. I feel like I haven't been challenged in a video game in a long time, unless it's a self-imposed challenge. I think that we will absolutely go for every single achievement in all of those games. We're not going to rush through it. We are going to enjoy our time. But, you know, I think that those games are going to continue to leave a lasting impact on me, and I'm excited to see what FromSoft has in store for me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know, what should I be playing next? You know, I am constantly in that analysis paralysis that I don't know what to go for next. Like I said, I am playing Ocarina of Time right now. I've been playing some old games. I've just been doing a replay for that nostalgic itch. I've been playing on stream Pokemon Red, been trying to complete the Pokedex on my original cartridge. But yeah, I need to know, what do you guys think I should be playing next? You know, do we let fate decide it and we spin that wheel and see? Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely day, and we will see you guys next time. Peace out.